All right, guys, what is going on? Hello, hello. How is the connection? Is our connection good? Can everybody see? Can everybody hear? All like 13 of you? 17 now. We should be able to get like 20 or 30 plus usually. I mean, we've been getting into like the 60s and 70s recently, which is pretty cool. We have 162 active members. So you would think we could get maybe at least half of that on the free live streams. I don't know. Chat. Guess we'll see. Man, I'll tell you what, though, I got a lot on my mind today. Not in like a bad way, but just in terms of what we could talk about, things going on in the world, obviously price action. There's just so much to really choose from as far as what I want to talk about or, have a discussion on. So what I'd like to do today is discuss a little bit of the dichotomy of control. All right, thanks for meeting, Willow. Appreciate that. What's good? Willow, Felix, Naruto 2020, Natasha, one of our newest members. Welcome. I mentioned this in the Discord yesterday. The market reviews come out every Tuesday and Thursday around 7 p.m. EST, roughly, because I try not to have a guarantee, because if I'm late, I'll feel bad. So I've always said around 7 p.m. EST. Sometimes it's earlier. Every once in a while, it's a little bit later, but mostly earlier than late. Jay Jones, welcome to the SMS community. So we should be around 163 or 164 active members as of now. Very nice, very nice. What's good, Alex C, convicted capitalist, Shay, Hermida, Simon and Aaron. What's good? So I have absolutely no clue what indices want to do today. If I had to say, though, I think we might actually rally. For indices. Dow, stronger than the other indices today. If we go actually take a look, I haven't done this in a very long time, so I figured I'd bring it back for you, at least for a moment. When I look at relative strength in this way, most of the times I'll just do it this way. I'll go to Dow and then look at ES, and I'll kind of do it that way. But any normal, like I used to do this a lot, is this chart right here, where I've got ES at the top, Dow Jones in the middle, and Nasdaq on the bottom. And so it won't really take a lot of effort to really see the difference here in what the three indices are doing, right? So if we look at S&P, we can obviously see that it's lower. We look at Nasdaq, it's absolutely lower. Nasdaq's actually our weakest index today. And then you look at Dow, and it is consistently actually quite higher. So the strength is in Dow Jones today. If you're trying to long these markets, it would be best to long the Dow, obviously. All right. So if we take a look at S&P, what is this line down in here? I actually deleted most of the drawings because I wanted to come on here and mark it up with you. When we were selling off this morning, And even during lunch, I was looking at what we could reach for. And that's really the only other significant low that we're close to. So that comes in at 52.16, almost 52.17. On your chart, that would be the low of May 14th. Okay. So that might have actually been news like FOMC or I don't know, CPI or something like that. There was some sort of news probably back in here. And so that has been met today. Look how we traded off of that a little bit. So there's probably some short covering in here, and we might have made our low of the day, given with what I just told you. So could we trade higher? I think so. Would I want to be longing today? ES, probably not. I mentioned this earlier this week. I said to be careful this week because it's the last week of the month. And then today, especially, it's the last day of the week and it's the last day of the month. So things might get a little bit shaky, just weird. Okay. That's the best way that I can probably explain that. Okay. Also, with what we've been focusing on the last month, maybe two, is what have we been focusing on? What model, what framework have we been really focusing on the last few weeks? What would that be? I got water today, chat. I got water. I had an energy drink already, but I got water now. Just so y'all know. Yeah. So Naruto, Felix, Willow, Alex C said the second leg model or the second stage model, either way. So yeah. I don't really see that for ES today. Yesterday was pretty phenomenal in the PM session. I put that out in the market review, so I'm not going to rehash that here, especially with the conversation I want to have here in a minute. We're going to probably go down the rabbit hole shortly. So what I'd rather actually do is head over to Euro. That's what I said I would do in the Discord. So that's what I'm going to do for you here. The upside objective, I'm pretty sure I gave you this on Wednesday. If I didn't mention this, I'm pretty sure I did. The 108.58, maybe 59 level is equal highs on the Euro from May 29th. So that was Wednesday. Did I give that out, chat? Or did I not? I don't want to tell you I did if I didn't, but I'm like 90% certain I did. You guys let me know if I did or did not. It's not an ego thing. It's just I need to know if I did. I would feel a lot better if I did. I would feel a little bit bad if I didn't, because those are very identical. And we're obviously going to go over the model again. What's good, Toby? What's good, Monkey Art? What up? What up? So does anybody remember, or are we just going to move on? I hope I didn't keep it to myself. Anyway, how do we draw the, well, how do I draw my ranges in regards to the second stage or the second leg model? How do we draw the fib or the gam box? How do we define our range? I don't have it in my notes, but I don't catch every word, says Naruto. Was good, Ibranith? Well, maybe I didn't. If none of you said that I did, then I guess I probably did. Well, all right, I guess we'll roll with that then. How do we define our range? How do we draw our low and our high? Naruto says from our liquidity target to the high or the low. All right. So if 108.58.7, if that's our target, we can draw it from those equal highs. Okay. And then from the target to the low, which has been set, says Felix. What's good, Big James? Right. So what's the lowest low on this chart? 107.90, or a little bit below that, rather. It's like 88 something. Okay. So does everybody see how we did that? Very easy. I'm measuring from the target. There's actually an imbalance up here too. I'll just put that on here as well. On the 1 hour time frame. So 108.65 to 108.70 is a 1 hour imbalance too. So if you wanted to extend that target up to here, you could, but I'm still only going to measure the range from these highs. Whichever one is higher, if they're equal, then it doesn't matter. Whichever one is higher, that's what I'm taking the fib tool from, and then down to the low that's been established on Thursday, right? Thursday is our current low of the week. I'm pretty sure. Okay. So what level or levels are going to be important? They're on your chart already. 75, 50, 25. I usually, when I mark it up to show you guys, I only mark up 50%. You can pretty much eyeball the 50%. You could also eyeball the 25 and the 75. All right. So now you can either keep the fib tool on here or you can take it off. Either way, however you want to do it. So what happens on Thursday, New York? So yesterday, New York FX session, what took place? What did we cross on Thursday? What is that? What level is that, chat? Natasha says 50%. Who else? Naruto says price rallied above 50%. Felix says fair value. I'll take that as well. It's the same thing. All right. So we cross our 50% level, which is at 108.23. So we crossed that, right? Are we going to look for longs up here? 108.40, 108.30. Are we looking for longs up here? Or are we going to wait for price to trade back down and into a discount? What are we going to do? Probably drop a like on the stream before we do anything, but cross 50%, heading towards the equal highs, but we don't want to chase price. So we're going to have to wait, Felix, Natasha, Naruto, waiting for the discount. All right, so there's a reason that we're going to shade this green, by the way, because now what we're going to do is go down into the smaller time frame. On the 1 hour, I don't really see anything in here that would, I don't look at the 4 hour either. I wouldn't really see anything in here that would be of significance to me on the 1 hour time frame. So I'm going to leave that. And then we're going to go down to a 15-minute time frame. Okay, and we're going to zoom in. So what we're focused on, okay, remember, I'm only focused on what is at fair value, 50%, ideally below that. Okay, so even if you wanted to on your own chart, you could almost just cut it and be like, well, that's what I'm focused on. You understand? Like, I'm not looking at anything above that yet. Only what is currently below that. So this is basically the information that we're working with here. Okay. So what we need is time, price, and context. So what is our time? Well, this was somewhere in the Asia session. Okay. 1 o'clock is here. So what happens at 1:15? We take a short-term low. Okay, look how price responded there, by the way. Look where the bodies, what the bodies are doing. Well, we didn't take it at 1, but I'm saying at 1:15 it trades down and then off of that. So it comes off of that low. This is also going to be very important. Why would that be important? Down candle here. 1:15 sweeps a level of liquidity. This is going to be very, very important. Probably one of the most important things about today for the euro. Okay. Why is that? I'll get to that. I'll try to explain everything and then we'll have a conversation. We rally. Then what do? We go back into a premium. So we don't want to be longing up here. You can, but I wouldn't suggest that. So we trade back down. Okay. Why is this important? Because our 2 o'clock is right there. So what is this? That's London. Okay. I'll just put this label on here real quick for you. Okay. So London starts. Where are the best buying opportunities? What's good, Electric? What's good, Vadu? Where are the best buying opportunities in relevance to opening price? Can you buy above the open? Sure. I do it. But is it better to buy above the open or is it better to buy below the open? All right. Most of you know this already. Below the open, right? So why is this so important? Because we're in London now. So we've got our timing tool here. We're in the London session. And price is going lower. Again, the green shaded box is the overall, like the 1 hour time frame. That's our overall discount. So we're trading back into a discount. We're trading below London's open. So we're in a discount on the higher time, 1 hour time frame. And then we're in a discount based on the session, right? So what are we trading down and into? Down candle, right? Down candle right there. Trades into it, hits like halfway, by the way, and then trades off of it and closes. All right. Now, again, why did I point out that this low was important? This one right here. Because it took a smaller time frame level of liquidity, right? Just stretch just a little bit. All right. So this is what looks good. Now, how can you know to trust this low or to even trust this one down here? What are some other tools we can look at? What are some other tools that we can utilize to help determine if, number one, if this is a stop run? By itself, it looks like that. But what else can we utilize for the euro? There's actually a couple of different answers, but I'm looking for one specific one. Naruto says relative strength. Relative strength with what? British pound. Okay. Electric says dollar. You're right. To be fair, I didn't even look at dollar in here, but we can add it to our chart. The euro is lower, dollar is higher. Euro has a low, makes a higher low, dollar makes a high, and then a lower high. Dollar makes a high, euro makes a higher high. That's kind of interesting there. But that's not what I was looking for. Big James is British pound. Right. And we're going to make British pound like a red, so it looks a little bit easier to see. And we're going to throw that green all the way to the back so our pound can actually, you can actually see it. And we'll just scrunch this up. Okay. So when the euro, okay, hopefully this is a light bulb for some of you, because we're still talking about second stage. We're just getting into the very, very details of it, to the nuts and bolts, if you will. Euro makes that low and then a higher low, but that higher low took stops. That's important. All right. So if you're journaling, if you're taking notes, which you should be, that's for you. All right. It's a higher low, but it took liquidity. What is British pound doing? In the same, meaning like time wise, at 115. 955, it makes a low. 115, I think it's either right there or like slightly off. 115. No, it's right there. Okay. So at 115, when the euro's sweeping low, that low, but trading higher, British pound is yet weak. So euro is under what? If pound is going higher, I mean, excuse me, lower. I haven't woken up yet. If British pound is trading lower and the euro is trading higher against British pound, what does that mean for euro? What's that mean for euro? Naruto says professional accumulation. Electric says accumulation. Yeah. Strength, in other words. Accumulation is correct. So, with that understanding, we're going to leave that blue line there because that's how I usually do it on my chart. If I'm going to leave it there. Okay. Now, this is the part where your jaw is probably going to hit the floor. Okay. Because one of you posted in the Discord, and I'm not trying to, like, I'm trying to give you constructive criticism. I'm not trying to say anything else, okay? Because somebody looked at this like a mitigation. All right. And then this imbalance here too, which appears to be the mitigation model. Sort of. The formation here by itself, kinda. But this is not like the lower low in the overall sense. So that's not really a mitigation in my opinion. But even if this person, because they longed this and then they got stopped out here. Okay. And the very first thing I'm looking at is what time frame you're on and how big of a range this is. So if you longed 108.20, 21, right? With the stop at this low at 14, that's only like a 7-point stop or pip, sorry. 7 pip stop. So number one, 7 pips by itself is a very tight stop loss. It's a very small stop loss. And the fact that they got stopped out here means they had an even smaller stop loss. So I don't know what their entry or where their drawing was at, but even in the sense of trying to make it larger to make my point, that's still 5 or fewer or less. That is way too tight of a stop. Okay. So for all you Forex traders, you have to remember you have to incorporate spread. So this is what you have to do. Are you ready? Spread is either going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 pips. I don't know what it is because it fluctuates. And the broker can increase it on you at any point that they want. So let's just go with the default. Let's just say it's 3. Okay. Let's just say it's 3 pips of spread. All right. If you were to long this potential mitigation model, it's not, but let's just say that you think it is. You would go, okay, 108.20 with the stop at this low at 108.14. But then you would have to take that low and then add the spread to it. So your stop would actually go to 108.11. Do you see that? Your stop wouldn't go to this low because that's like a 3 or 4 point stop. It's too tight. If the stop goes to this low, that's fine because that was accumulation, remember? That's why we went through that. And yes, electric is the same shit. It's a different name. Relative strength, divergence, it's the same shit. This was accumulation, proven that it traded higher against British pound. So it shouldn't trade below this low because of that, number one. And then number two, it already took smaller time frame stops. It took smaller time frame liquidity. I saw a reel yesterday. This guy was like, oh, the market doesn't come for your stop. Shut the fuck up. Like, no, dude. Yes, they do. The market trades for your stop loss. You don't know what you're talking about. Probably why you have to run ads, because anyway, let me stop. That low, okay, you have to add spread to it. So your stop wouldn't go here or here. It would go down here. You guys picking up what I'm putting down? So had you longed that 21 level, right? Just imbalance, potential mitigation, even though it's not, the stop would have to go down here, which is still 9.5. I would just go ahead and round up to 10 pip stop loss. That's fine. Okay. This isn't WWA. I'm not WWA. I'm not trying to tell you, yeah, go for these 1 to 20, these 1 to 50 RR. You're going to get fucked if you do that. Do you understand? The spread is going to get you, or if you're wrong, the slightest little bit of drawdown spread's going to get you, and you're fucked. Don't do that. 10 is fine. On the S&P, that's my max, but it's different math, okay? So what is the target here? Well, remember, 108.58 is the 1 hour equal highs, right? That's a 1 to 3.7. That's 1 to 3. Okay, what about that imbalance above it? Well, just to that's a 1 to 4.4. So what happened, and again, I'm trying to give you constructive criticism here, but I'm only ragging on you because you did this shit last week. Like 1 or 2 pip stop loss, you got knocked out, and then the move went your way. And it happened again this week. So that's why I'm like making it kind of a point here. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I don't even know if they're on the stream, but you missed out on a 1 to 4 because you wanted your stop to be too tight. And you could have absolutely smacked this. You could have got 40, 45 pips out of this, but you didn't because your stop was too tight. That's not the market's fault. It's your fault. You understand? So after all of that, okay, this is a larger perspective of the second leg model or the second stage model, right? Because this is a 15-minute or 1 hour time frame highs, but it took a couple of days to pan out. It wasn't like a 5-minute framework. Oh, we're going to attack morning session highs in the afternoon. Like that's like an intraday day trade, model, right? But price is fractal. So if we can take a day trading model, you just slap it on a higher time frame. It's the same shit. Just like we did with JP Morgan, right? That bitch is still running a year and some change later. It's all the same. And I know I said this last week too. People keep asking me, oh, John, when are you going to talk about FX? It's like, bro, this is no different. This is no different than the S&P or gold and silver. It's no different. It's the same shit. So this is why I don't always cover FX. I mean, God, to cover every single currency and cross pair plus indices, I mean, dude, we'd be streaming for fucking 12 hours a day. I'm not doing that. Anyway, there's your target, crossing 50%, back into a discount. All the shit I just showed you in here, that was the play to go higher. It's the same thing I drew out for you in that video. The second leg model backtesting and framework video. It's no different than the euro here. It's no different. And I put out that video, what, Monday or Tuesday? And that same framework happened today on the euro on a Friday, days after I put this out. It's all the same. Okay? Can you guys drop a 1 if you're with me? Second stage model, very simple. Drawing this is the way that I do it again. Drawing a fib or a GAN from the target to the low, crossing 50% into a premium. If we're looking for longs, we want a long in a discount. Relative strength showed accumulation on euro, small time frame manipulation, and then 15-minute down candle incorporating spread so you don't get yoinked before the move insinuates. Look how fast this was. Let me see. Low risk buy. Leg 1 is here. This whole thing right here, that's leg 1, retracement, and then there is your second leg or second stage model. Boom. You just learn how to trade. You know how to trade now. You know how to trade. You know what to look for. Target, low, manipulation, accumulation, session, opening price, relative strength, down candles, discount. Boom. Time, price, context. You're welcome. You're welcome. Totally for free. Okay? You good with that? Look at British pound. It's dirt. I mean, it did rally. I'll give you that. It did rally, but it's fucking dirt compared to the euro today, at least. Okay? So there's that. Let me just take a quick look at the indices. I want to see what they're doing. At the beginning of the session, I said I think we'd rally today for the PM session. The Dow is slightly higher. We definitely got above this morning's high, and we're kind of just sitting there. So we'll see what we fucking do. The S&P has traded like a whopping 10 points higher for the session so far. All right, whatever. Nothing crazy, but I wouldn't expect too much for this afternoon. Okay. So now with the last 20 minutes or so, I want to give you some thoughts here before going into the weekend. Okay. So that's it for the price action side, for the framework side or whatever. Like, I'm pretty much done with the charts for today and for this week. But I've said a lot this week on my Instagram story about a lot of shit. And I wanted to explain it a little bit. Okay. So don't feel bad if you want to go, or if you want to go do something else. I'm not going to feel bad. Like, you're allowed to leave. Okay. So what I talked about yesterday or earlier this week, because obviously you guys have been seeing what people have been posting on Instagram about what's going on in other countries. Oh, global conflict, right? WAR, global conflict, and a lot of shit is going down. And what I said, because I went for a walk yesterday morning, really early, by the way. I usually don't do that, but I did it yesterday. And so when I go for a walk and I get fresh air and sunlight, it definitely makes things easier to think things through and to, I guess, really think in the best way possible. So I got to thinking, and I'm like, all of these people are posting on Instagram and posting to social media, and it's a trend, right? Like, people follow trends. But I just got done the other day writing a chapter in my next book about avoiding the mob mentality. That's the title of the chapter. Avoid the mob mentality. Being a contrarian, right? Seeing what everybody else is doing and then doing the fucking opposite, just like in trading. So it's no different. It's no different in, life and politics and voting and all that shit that people believe in. So I came out and I said, look, you're virtue signaling. You're virtue signaling. What does that mean? It means you're bringing attention to something because you feel that you're going to look virtuous, but you don't do anything to actually help anybody. It's like going around to, say, like San Francisco or some shit, or you go to like one of these like shithole cities and you look at the crime. It's like, oh, look at this crime. Look at all these drug addicts everywhere and, all this shit. But then you don't do anything about it. Oh, look at the homeless, but then you don't feed the homeless, right? Or something to that effect. Actually doing something real. Like, you don't do any of that. That's what virtue signaling is. So what I'm kind of telling you guys is to not fucking do that. If you're going to do something real, do something real. The other day, we donated even more money to this one individual that's in the northern part of Pakistan, who is traveling around to different locations, I'm sure, and he's doing shit like he's putting windows on people's houses. He's buying goats and shit for families and stuff. And we a few months ago, earlier this year, we put shoes on kids' feet. We put backpacks on their back. We're doing real shit, like that is actually making a difference. That's real. Posting on social media, that's not real. That's virtue signaling. And so I'm telling you not to do that. And so I also came out and I said, look, if you believe that the government is funding these conflicts, your tax dollars are funding that, which means, guess what? You are the ones oppressing those people. And that might be offensive. You might not like me after this, or you might feel some type of way like, oh man, fuck, I'm trying to learn how to trade and you're over here like bullshitting, John. Well, let me tell you something, my friend. Life is more than just trading, okay? So the internet goes out, guess what? You're not going to fucking trade. Your broker shuts down, guess what? You're not going to fucking trade. Your funding company, they go out of business. We see a lot of that shit this year and last year. Guess what? You're not going to fucking trade. There's more to life than trading. And there's more to life than money too. All right? So I say all that to say what I said on my story earlier today. I said, everything is controlled. If you haven't believed this idea in the last few years, then you need to wake up, pay attention to what's happening in New York this week. This is not a game or a joke. Now, you guys already know I don't get into politics. I don't even vote. But in the United States, at least, I don't know how it is in every country, okay? But in the United States, in order, like the idea of a democracy, right, is to be fair, to having a fair election. Elections aren't fair. I don't even think they've ever been fair. Maybe the first one or the second one, but after that, everything went to shit. Especially with electronic voting. That's all bullshit. I've proven to you that these markets are not free. You think these voting machines are going to be fair? Anyway, it's all bullshit, but it's all controlled. And so a lot of people are upset right now because they're looking at what's going on with one of our previous presidents and they're saying, look, a lot of people are saying we might not even like this guy. We might not even like him, but what they're doing is election interference. They're saying, dude, we may not like him, we may not vote for him, but fuck, you at least got to give him a fair chance. Otherwise, it's not democratic and it's un-American. That's what the problem is currently. Okay? And that's why I always preface this by saying I don't even vote, because I'm not trying to tell you like, oh, I'm going to vote for Trump or no shit like that. I don't vote. But I can recognize when some shit is not fair. Or like in sports, when they call fouls on certain players more than others, or they don't call certain fouls, right? It's like, I don't even care about, I don't give a flying fuck about sports, but that's still cheating. It's rigged. It's not fair. That's what I have an issue with. The Stoics probably would too, because, you know, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Justice is doing the right thing. And if you're not going to do the right thing, that would go against rational behavior. So anyway, I continue on and I said, get your money, protect yourself and your family, and stash up food and water. I only threw that in there because, number one, people ask me, a couple of people throughout the week asked me, well, John, if you know, you're saying that people are part of the oppression. I'm like, well, yeah, your tax dollars are paying for it and you do nothing to offset that. You don't help anybody out. You just go on social media. You don't do anything. You're part of the problem. And I know people aren't going to like that, but hey, I don't care if you like the truth or not. It's not up to me. You're only offended if you choose to be. Okay? But in other words, people were asking, well, what can we do? Right? If virtue signaling is saying that we want to look virtuous but not do anything, and that's a problem, what can we do? And I said, take action. Do something real. Actually donate your time or donate your money. I mean, something physical. Okay? So by that, you can get your money, you can protect yourself and your family, and you can stash up food and water. And I threw the food and water in there because, again, this is on my Instagram story, by the way. It was a couple of days ago, these stories came out about these chickens. There was like over 1 million chickens that died recently. And then other articles are saying that it was more than 4 million chickens to be killed in Iowa after officials detected bird flu on the farm. And then to further down the rabbit hole, I said, there are forces out here doing some evil shit. You can't stop them. Focus on doing your best and preparing for the worst. Premeditatio malorum, right? The premeditation of evils that comes to us from Seneca. I have a coin. I've shown you that before. Is somebody fucking with the food supply? I don't know. It almost looks that way. But it's just the chickens. The U.S. is probably going to run into bigger issues if stuff like that continues. But if you look at it like this, okay? Let's say you stacked up a bunch of food and you don't eat it and it goes to waste. All right, that's the risk that you take. The flip side to that, let's say you don't stack up your money, you don't stack up food and water. Well, if shit really hits the fan and you don't have food and water, you're done. So, what would be the logical choice here? Spend a little bit more money, get some extra food stashed away, and then rotate the stuff, meaning put the new shit in the back and use your current food in the front. But stash up, I would say, like 2-3 months of food at least, because you never know what's going to happen. That's kind of my point. To be prepared for anything. There's a one of the letters in Letters from a Stoic by Seneca, which you should have read by now, and if you haven't, you need to. He talks about how Seneca is ready for anything. He's like, I hope for the best, but I'm prepared for the worst. And with what's going on in today's politics, which I usually don't pay attention to, but this shit is fucking wild. I mean, like, we've never had this level of fuckery in politics ever. So it's kind of hard to not pay attention. But what I'm saying, or what I'm trying to portray to you, goes above and beyond that. It's everything collectively. So if we were to wrap this up in a I guess a couple of points, what I want to portray to you is the Stoic fundamental idea of the dichotomy of control. What does that mean, chat? The DOC, what does that mean? The dichotomy of control. Explain that to me like I'm 5. And yeah, Shay, that's what I was saying. But not us, though. This community, we're donating our money, but our money actually goes a long way in certain countries, especially Pakistan. I think it's Pakistan. I'm pretty sure. So the US dollar goes way further over there than it does here. So we are actually making a difference. Maybe not like a global difference, but hey, a difference in 5, 10, 15 people. We've done our part. It's up to everyone else on social media who doesn't do shit. It's up to them to make a move. It's up to them to put their money and their time where their fucking mouth is. Because everybody has an opinion, but not everybody's going to take action on what they believe in. So keep scrolling on social media, keep following the trends, and keep being part of the fucking problem. Convicted Capitalist said, focusing on things you can control rather than those we can't. Perfect. Focus on that which you can control. Your own thoughts, actions, and habits. Leave the outside to the outside as it is outside of your control. Right, Naruto. So things we don't control: global conflict, governments, central banks, interest rates, the weather, car accidents, financial markets, food shortages. Basically, like 99% of everything is outside of your control. But what can we focus on? Well, you and I cannot stop global conflict, but what we can do is prepare for global conflict. We don't control interest rates, but we control how much debt we want to be in to a degree. We don't control the weather, but we can prepare for rough weather. Food, water, lights, flashlights, first aid kits, extra batteries, shit like that. You can prepare for that in advance. We don't really control car accidents, but we can at least drive defensively as much as we can, which is our best. And then obviously in the financial realm, we absolutely don't control price, even though sometimes it looks like we do because we know how to finesse the second stage model. But in reality, we really only control our risk, you know, where we choose to get in, how much we run a risk, and all that. So that's where the focus should be. doing what you can, focusing on what you can, and doing something real. Okay? So that's just kind of the very short version of what I wanted to say today. I could probably say a lot more, but I don't want to run the risk of getting my account banned or being banned on social media. But yeah, shit's just popping off, man. It's a very interesting year. I think things are starting to pick up for 2024 because remember, this is an election year for the US. So I think things are only going to get more volatile. You understand? So continue to be careful. Continue to prepare yourself for anything that may come. You guys are all over the world. I don't know, you know, some of you are in Australia or New Zealand or the UK or somewhere in Europe, or some of you are here from the US, different parts of the US, whatever. So you just have to do your best in wherever you're at. And that's all that we can do. So that is how I'm going to leave today. That's how I'm going to leave this week going into the weekend. So, but don't be scared. I'm not trying to fear monger. One of you said that earlier, that's what social media is doing. Electric is fear mongering. Hopefully I'm not doing that to you. I'm not worried. I'm really not all that worried, but I am going to prepare for anything that could happen because you never know. Okay. So y'all be good, man. We'll be here same time, same place on June 3rd. And don't forget, book of the month for June is On the Shortness of Life by Seneca. All right. So be blessed. I'll see you next week on Monday, same time, same place, right here on YouTube.
Something is broken and you try to fix it, try give me just a night to find a way. We got everything we need here in this godforsaken place. Drink it up and wash the bitterness away. There's nothing you can give that I can't take. Can we give it a